Instructional design is an important competency for all professionals. By definition, as a professional, you're required to train the future generation, and therefore the ability to teach and train is an important aspect of your profession. And let's look at what instructional design is. Instructional design is a very systematic and iterative process that at the end of it, you will be able to create learning objectives and to be able to develop content and deliver those content in an effective manner that fits cognitive neuroscience principles. And along with that delivery, you must be able to provide assessments that are authentic and real, that will be identified as meaningful for the learners. The history of instructional design actually began in World War II with the use of training programs to rapidly deploy trained fighter pilots for the war. From this, this evolved into the 20th century where it is being used in various industries to improve the efficiency of training and teaching. Recently, you can see that the use of technology has incorporated into the instructional design process to enhance, empower, and make instruction much more efficient, meaningful, and engaging. The evolution of instructional design has grown through the various theoretical models from behaviorism, mainly for skills training, to use reinforcement and operant conditioning, to cognitivism, to the use of the intellect and cognitive functions to improve the acquisition and retention of knowledge. Constructivism came in through the process of learning through peers and through the creation of meaning through the use of a group, and connectivism is through the network of individuals of like-minded and communities of practice to help in the instructional experience. The key principles of instruction design is to be learner-centered, and now we look at more of learning-centered. The process of learning is not unilateral or unidirectional, but it can be bidirectional. In other words, the learner and the teachers are engaged in an experience where both will learn. It's a process of active learning and not a passive one where it's very directive and prescriptive. Sometimes this is necessary for rapid training processes, but however, in instructional design principles, we encourage the activity in the participation where the learners are involved in the process of the whole learning experience. The feedback and assessment are crucial in instructional design, and the design of these assessment models must keep in mind the needs of the learners and the authenticity and relevance of the assessment for the learning exercise. The instructional design process is basically an iterative process where the needs analysis needs to be done first to understand who your learners are, what are their needs, what is the requirements, and from which then very authentic and bespoke learning objectives are created. And from these learning objectives, content is then developed, and making sure the content is authentic and contextual and relevant. From this, we then decide how this teaching process and the resources are delivered through instructional strategies and assessing the outcome of the learning through authentic and relevant assessment methods. One of the very commonly used instructional design model is the ADDIE model, ADDIE, which stands for analysis, design, develop, implement, and evaluate. Evaluation not so much as the evaluating the outcome of the study, but the whole instructional program by itself. There are various other modules which are a modification of this. The important aspect is to understand the needs and then to create an instructional program meeting that needs with sound cognitive neuroscience basis so that the knowledge is acquired and retained and applied in the real world, and an assessment that ensures that learning has occurred. The future of instructional design is very exciting, especially with the entrance of technology, and especially with generative AI, augmented reality, and virtual realities are going to play a significant role in the future of instructional design in our practice.